Before I came to Tavistock Relationships, I'd worked for many years in higher education as a university lecturer. I trained in one of the social sciences. I then taught students at postgraduate level, did research, and was in many ways very engaged in that. I've lived and worked in Asia, Europe, and the US. With hindsight, it actually rather felt like the psychodynamic training chose me and not the other way round. I'd had a long-standing interest in psychology, and at one point many years ago, when I was in med school, I think I meant to explore that more. And then in the course of my academic work, I was always interested in the more intellectual apparatus of psychoanalysis and quite engaged with that in many ways. Originally, I did a one-year foundation course at another institution, and in the course of that year, I became more conscious of my curiosity about couples and working with couples. I had this sense that there was something more alive about it, something that connected more with my own experience. So I signed up for the introductory course at Tavistock Relationships so I could explore the couple relationship more. The experience of their introductory course was very important and positive to me, so I wanted to stay on here if possible. There are a number of things I really like about the way Tavistock Relationships trains people and what makes it unique. Firstly, when I was looking for which course to do, I looked very carefully at the different components of the psychodynamic training. These included theory seminars, clinical seminars, self-reflective groups, journals, and supervision. When I looked at these different elements on the page, it looked very comprehensive, very rigorous, which was something I understood as an academic. I could think about it, I could ask about it, and that inspired both confidence and hope in me that this was going to be a good training. Secondly, was my actual experience of doing the course. All the different elements actually helped to support each other, and over time that gave a real sense of progression and development for me. It was a very rich, rigorous experience. There was one really key thing that ran through it, and that's the way they give you the permission to be curious, to explore, and for me that was really important. I'd had a lot of experience of formal learning and teaching, and the experience of that kind of curiosity and exploration was great. There wasn't anything that couldn't be looked at, however difficult. And of course, that in some ways is the nature of the actual work. The difficulty and how one doesn't look away, but instead tries to explore this thing that feels so difficult. It's also important to say another thing I think that is unique about Tavistock Relationships is there's a sturdiness to the place and the people. In other words, one can explore and it feels safe to do so because it doesn't frighten people. That makes such a difference in terms of how one experiences the training and what is possible. I would absolutely recommend the MA in couple and individual psychodynamic counselling and psychotherapy, and have done so on numerous occasions in the past. Some of the most valuable things I learnt were being allowed to be curious. And I also found the self-reflective group, for me, personally, was a very valuable experience. Plus the whole feedback loop has been extremely helpful. It's the experience of being able to identify what you struggle with in your journal or with your tutor, in supervision or in some self-reflective groups, something you're finding difficult, something perhaps you don't even know you're finding difficult, but someone else saying it makes you think about it. You know you're not alone if you're struggling, and you'll be helped, and there's lots of different forums for that help. I still write, but I have basically changed careers. I'm seeing clients now, I've qualified. I'm engaging with colleagues in various ways. I'm doing continued professional development, and I'm also continuing the training on the psychoanalytic MA. I use the skills I learned both professionally and personally. Personally, I suppose it's always less obvious, but even more life-changing in terms of my own capacity for personal development and growth. The sense that this is what I want to be doing, and that is life-changing. I'm now continuing training and doing the MA in Couples Psychoanalytic Psychotherapy at Tavistock Relationships. I'd like to add, for anyone who's watching this testimony, I'm assuming that you already have a curiosity and perhaps a longing for something different or new. You might not even know what that is yet, but I recommend listening to it, nurturing it, and acting upon it.